the top of the Empire State Building. Pest Equity Business Podcast is back.
We back.
Expansion always, in all ways. Eye-opening episodes, sales, marketing strategies, entrepreneurial development, the everyday entrepreneur experience. So get ready to network to build your net worth. You're now listening to the Pest Equity Business Podcast.
Welcome all and welcome back to another great episode of Pest Equity Business Podcast. I'm your host on episode number 63, and be talking to a serial entrepreneur from my hometown of Brooklyn, New York. The two companies that the person runs is Xtacy Legacy and Xtacy Health. Welcome to the podcast.
Hi, thank you. Thank you. I'm feeling welcome.
So let's get right to this, right? I always ask my guests, give me one word that best describes you and why.
One word that best describes me, multitasker, because I'm always trying to learn something new. I'm always open to learn something new. And because of the different things I do.
Okay, well, that's a good thing. I'm also a multitasker. What inspired you to create your own businesses, and what, in your opinion, what sets them apart from competitors in your market?
Well, what started me off, I do work still in a 9 to 5. And when it comes to me doing my own business, it's, I don't know. I saw an opportunity. I took it. For example, Xtacy Legacy is a party event thing. We have things that we rent out for people to have at their parties. I saw that people were doing the 360 photo booth. So I bought it during the pandemic, and it was for cheap. Now, my 360 photo booth is worth $5,000. I only bought it for $1,000, and I was getting booked back to back. Other companies were charging $250, $200, because I think people was on top of that. I was charging $150 an hour and giving discounts, but it's more than 4 hours. So I just saw my opportunity. I just grabbed it and ran with it.
So, Xtacy, how did you identify your target audience, right? And the market of like the products that you offer for the parties? Like, how did you identify like who your market was?
Okay. So I could say that I was a party goer a lot. I party a lot. And there were certain parties that I go to, like, gosh, they don't have the photo booth. Dang, I want to go on that thing that spins around. I was excited, you know. And I said, let me see what this is about. And then for me partying so much, I do know a lot of DJs. I do know a lot of promoters that actually are in that field. So that right there is my target. I was a person that I'm trying to target, you know. So it's like a person that's popular, that's always having a party, that's always throwing something, from even small gatherings to a big party. That's how I was able to get my audience that I need, or the people that was hiring me. And they would network even if they didn't hire me, they would plug me in with someone that would.
I get it. You were networking while you were, in the party scene.
Yep, I was. I asked them, I would go to their party event, like, hey, listen, if you need a 360 photo booth, I have one. Let me know. And then one guy was like, I don't need it for this venue, but I know somebody that would. They throw charity events, and that's how I end up having, I end up seeing things where they have street fairs and stuff like that. They already have their vendor's license. They just adding on people to come and join. So it was free. Some of the stuff was free, like the Barclay thing I did with the 360 photo booth. That was free. That was for back to school for kids, but they were well known, called Brooklyn Unity. They were well known, and they did it at the Barclay Center, and I was there. I was doing 360 photo booths with artists, and everybody was loving it. The kids was loving it, and they was doing their little thing and everything.
It's always good to give back to the community, and when you become successful, I always say that. So besides the 360 photo booth, what other products do you offer to your market?
We have a snow cone machine. That right there in mid-summertime, I'm being booked for either both 360 photo booth or snow cone machine and cotton candy machine we have. So I'm the one who does it. So I also told my daughter to be like my partner. She know how to set up everything. She know how to do cotton candy. She know how to do snow cone. I started off with her party. I gave my daughter a birthday party, and then I gave inside their giveaway bag, the party going bag, I actually dropped my business card inside the party going bag. So their parents was hiring me. So that's the way of me networking. That's the way how I just like, you know what? I'm in it for wherever, private and all.
Yeah, well, that's a great marketing strategy as well, like putting your business card inside of the gift bags. So when the children go through it, the parents will see the card. And if they plan on having parties, which all kids do, they have the person they need right there in front of them. It's a good marketing strategy. Do you own and operate, or do you like own, operate, and also lease out your equipment?
I do everything. I have a dolly mechanism that I put my 360 in. I drive it there. I build it. I use my camera for it. I send it immediately back to them. So as soon as they come off the machine, what's your cell phone number? Or do you want to QR scan this? I have a system where they could just get a QR, whichever way they want it, WhatsApp, email. I was able to do that. And then at the end of the day, by the next day, I'll give it to the person that actually hires them. I give them everyone's video throughout the party so they could see the videos and stuff like that.
I'm truly loving the efficiency that you're talking about. I want to sidestep for a second because what was weird is when I first started speaking with you that we actually have something in common. We were both in the pest control industry, correct?
Yes, we are.
So
I would never think that with me.
Yeah, I mean, I was really taken back. I was wondering if you'd like to touch on that just a little bit.
Well, I worked for Exterminating Company. I was there. What happened is the city was going through, you know, a lot of stuff with financials, and city employees was getting let go left to right, and I ended up getting hired. I ended up getting in touch with someone that had a contract by the housing. I ended up working for Exterminating Company for 4 years, making cells. And I got familiar with the chemicals. I got familiar making cells, as in bringing clientele in, and I made them a lot of money. I think I made them 6 figures every year of sales. Yeah, 6 figures every year of sales. So once I did that, I just got used to it. And when it comes to like speaking to people, like, you know, if I'm speaking to someone in my building, they talking about something, I tell them what to order exactly, you know, or where to go to get it, or what they need to do and how to prevent. You know, it's like I still have that salesperson in me for exterminating. But exterminating it was cool. I stopped being afraid of certain things. You know, it conquered a fear.
What were you afraid of?
I don't like water bugs and roaches, but I hate them. I hate them. You know, I hate the bees and the wasps. I don't hate them. I'm afraid of getting stung by them. Termites, they could chew out a house and literally make a house collapse, you know, if you don't catch it in time. So I know the timing of things and how long. So I've been in the field for a while. I never went out in the field, but I down to mosquitoes and where they like to nest at and what caused bugs to come in and what attracts certain bugs. And I learned a lot from just making cells because I had to learn in order for me to be a good salesperson. I had to learn, especially top stuff that happened in Brooklyn. And it's not only just bugs, but raccoons. What are the laws for raccoons, squirrels, and possums? You know, I didn't know it was against the law for you not to kill them. You know, you can't kill them. You know, so I didn't know that. And I'm like, let them free. All they do is go in the park and multiply. You know.
Yep.
I didn't know it was a law, and you know, I learned that also. So it was fun. It was fun, I could say.
Yeah, you gotta put the business card on the raccoon.
Yeah, oh gosh, the raccoon. Yeah, I made a couple of cells from that because those things they would eat. They would basically move into your house and take your insulation between your walls and make a nest, and a whole bed would be in there.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and then the squirrels would like to run in the house from chimneys and from windows and branches that's close to the windows and go in people's houses and stuff. So it was a lot of cells, and those cells are expensive cells. It's a set of traps. People are calling us fear.
So, Xtacy, what would be like one tip that you would give to like salespeople as far as, you know, selling their service, their product, etc.?
The one thing I would tell people to do is get to learn your product that you're selling. Get to learn what you are trying to get across. It could be from exterminating. It could be from selling your own business out. Like you have to learn how to learn the product so you can be able to advertise it correctly and nothing won't go wrong. And also learn your competitors' prices. You should go with that too, which would make it affordable living because some people just overprice or some people just don't know. And you be sitting there on hold waiting for them to ask somebody else a question. So, learn your competitors, learn what you're selling and talk with confidence and be with confidence because it could be sent over the phone.
That's a great piece of advice. So as you got started in your business, what were like the biggest challenges you faced as an entrepreneur? And if you did, how did you overcome them?
It's basically because I'm a one-person owner and worker. I learned that I cannot expect people to help me, even close friends and family. I have to do this on my own. This is my road this is my journey and my journey only. I cannot expect family and friends to be that supportive or be supportive and I can't get mad at that because it's my journey, it's my route, it's my way, and I have to do what I can to get the attention I need to actually sell and advertise my businesses. So I will always tell people, do not expect anything from people. Expect more of yourself and be confident and don't let one no turn down a whole bunch of yes.
I totally agree. Self-awareness is very important in entrepreneurship. So, Xtacy, I know that you're great at this. So how do you use social media and other digital platforms to market and promote, your business, service, product, etc.?
So I'm on my little master plan right now. I have a funny personality. I like to show a little bit of my personality on social media because I was broadcasting. That's one of my other jobs. I broadcast. And I didn't know, I learned from that during the pandemic on that people really actually like my personality, and I use my personality on social media and that brings people to follow. And then what I do is I do a pre-made text, to the promoters or to who I know that would my target audience that I know that will hire me. And I would let them know, hey, I do such and such and such if you want to hire me for so and so. So that my personality pulled in that crowd and that crowd could be my potential customers, So I'm using it. I'm trying to get as much followers as I can, as much people that can see my personality and see like, okay, she's cool, but I don't let them know I'm running the machine or operating the machine. I just let them know that the machinery. I just let them know that, hey, my business also do this and that. They was willing to hire me because they're like, oh, and then after such a point, I started getting booked back to back to back. Because not only I'm in the exterminating game and I do broadcasting and I also do, the entertainment world and give health advice when it comes to natural herbs and stuff like that. But I also do modeling. I'm big on being a podcast guest. So I did a lot of podcasts and stuff like that. So it's like, I just don't know how to sit still. I try to grab as much field as I can. That's why I say I'm a professional multitasker because I'm trying to be in a little bit of everything because all you have to do is just prioritize everything, organize everything, and you can squeeze everything in one day. We have 24 hours in a day, and we can do multiple things. Just because we finish 8 of working doesn't mean we can't do other things. So I do that, and my number one priority is I'm a mom over everything. So when it comes to mommy mode, everything's shut down. My daughter has a game to cheer for, I'm cheering for her too, so I'm a mom first, so I have that organized. Her calendar go up, her schedule go up first, and then everything else can follow.
I totally get it. I'm the same way. I'm also a serial entrepreneur. I'm involved in a lot of different industries, a lot of different ventures. So I totally get what you're saying. Everything can't always be great, right? So what's the biggest mistake you've made as an entrepreneur? And what did you learn from it, if anything?
The biggest mistake is self-doubt. That stops a lot of people. I had self-doubt a couple of times, and it stopped me from getting the opportunity. And when I see people that went in with my idea with confidence, it was like, oh, that could have been me. I could have been up there with them, I could have been doing this, So it's like self-doubt is that right there can make you lose out on a lot of opportunities. And I did lose out on a few opportunities that I could have had gotten because I wouldn't open my mouth and I wouldn't go forward with it.
So when would you say your most productive time of the day is? Are you a morning person, afternoon, night?
I am not a morning person. I have to warm up to that. I have to be, if I have to do a job in the morning time, I already premeditated that the night before. um, I'm not a morning person because I don't know. I'm vampire style. I'm trying to go to bed on time, but I'm up like a vampire all night. But I could warm up. For example, if I know I had something to do 8 o'clock in the morning, I already premeditated that, so I could have my mask on and smiling. Time that I get my ideas. All I have to do is really just sit down and just like be somewhere. If I go outside and see, if I go for a walk, throughout the city, I'm coming out with. I'm not thinking like regular people. Oh, should I buy this? Oh, I should do this. I should do that. Buy that. I know. I'm more of like, if I do this, I could flip money and get that. Or if I do this idea, I could get. That's my brain. So it's as long as I'm traveling, as long as I'm on foot, car, I'm coming up with ideas. If I'm even searching through the internet, I'm coming up with ideas on what else is next, what platform I'm not on, what platform I have to make sure I'm doing good on so I can get more business opportunities and more business ideas because I want to basically, I know one of them going to blow with so many I have. One of them going to blow up and I could live comfortably and I still will have my investments in the small ones.
Yeah, well, that's a great mindset to have. Like the mind's always turning, keeps us sharp.
Yeah.
You're moving on to bigger and better things, investments. What's the worst advice you've ever received as an entrepreneur?
Worst advice is nobody's not going to do it. Nobody's not interested in that. So it could be, I could be talking about one thing and they're like, nobody's not going to do that. Like I wanted to be, when I was a child, I was studying dance. I studied dance over 12 years, modern dance. I was accepted to do audition. Like it was level to that audition. And I was told that I'm too tall to be in gymnastics. I'm too tall to be a dancer. I was being told that I was too tall to do certain things. I let somebody tell me what I can't do and believe in them. So that's the worst advice I ever gotten, where I'm being told not to do, I can't do something. If I believe that once you think of it, it's possibly to be done, as long as you try.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I was actually the opposite. Whenever someone would tell me I can't, that's when I knew that, I can and I have to. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's my mindset.
What happened with me, I stopped believing in what people tell me. I go by what I can get done.
Yeah.
Because, it's like that self-doubt. You got that self-doubt, and then you got somebody telling you what you can't do. That right there would just make you not want to do anything,
Yeah.
So I had to lower that self-doubt and don't care what anybody says. So that's what made me show my personality more. And look, I got 1.15 million fans on one app and 50K fans on another app and 15,000 fans on another app. So nobody can tell me anything. Oh, what you doing on the internet? This is not, they're going to bully you. Yeah, but it's not that first time going through being bullied. So what? I would learn how to, I'm not the person going to be showing my whole life on the internet. I basically show what I want them to show. You are in control of what you want people to see.
Absolutely. Jealous ones envy. That's how I say it. There's certain words that, you need to remove from your vernacular and basically, live your life and, do what makes you happy. Not worried about, what anybody's saying or doing. Like a lot of people ask me about like competition and competitors. Like I don't really pay them no mind because, my mindset is like minding somebody else's pocket is not going to do nothing for mine. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, you can't watch somebody else's plate when you have your own in front of you.
Exactly. So, Xtacy, what's the most interesting place you've ever traveled to do business?
Everything's been in New York. I could say that. Everything's been in New York. The most interesting, my first big gig, which was free, but it was at the Barclays with a whole bunch of artists from Brooklyn.
Nice.
That was a great opportunity. Giving out my cards and people contacted me. People saw me they were even a part of the party that was going on, the breakfast group, but they was asking me for my cards from on the other side of the gate. So they were still interested in us. That was fun. I did go through an accident where these group of girls, they was on the wild side, and they actually broke my 360 photo booth right at the Barclays Center. They was jumping on a 360 photo booth like it was a stage. And what happened is the mechanism has a metal bar that spins around. They're not spinning around. The stage is not spinning around. The bar is spinning around the camera. And they was jumping, and they jumped, which bounced and broke the bar. I had to run to a welder, an emergency welder that was literally about to close. I called them. They said, come in. They charged me $75 to fix it. They fixed it literally in 15 minutes. I'm talking about that metal piece was still hot while I was driving.
Wow.
Right back to the 360 photo booth. And by the time I got there, it was cool. It was fixed, and I serviced it for them. They didn't care. They wasn't sorry or anything like that. So they didn't. I just basically was like, no, y'all can't come on here. Your kids could come on here, but you as adults couldn't come on here.
Actually, you got to start taking some type of insurance payments on the machine before you put it out there. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly. Yes, I should have did that, because when I had told the promoter, they was like, hey, all the artists want to do the 360. More artists want to do the 360 photo booth. And I'm like, I had a couple of the people that was at the venue, and I gave them ticket number. They broke my machine.
Wow.
And I have to rush and get it fixed because I paid it the next day. And they was she was like, oh, okay. And that was it. It was like, I was like, oh, okay. So no, and I'm like, it's my fault. I should have told them I don't charge for anything else but for insurance if anything was to happen to my machine. That's what I had the disclosure paper for that, and I did not have them sign it because I was so hype about I'm at the Barclays Center.
I got it.
Yeah,
I made mistakes like that myself. Like when I first started out, I was so like gung ho, like, oh, I'm going to get this business, that I didn't think about covering my own behind.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
All right, CYA, cover your own.
Yep.
Yeah, so it's like you have to cover it because look, a lucky thing it was $35 and not more than that, because like I said, I bought my machine when it was worth $1,000, and now it's worth $5,000 in between $3,000 and $5,000. But I know I could push somebody to pay for it for $5,000, but it's worth that, and that right there could have cost me another job the next day, which they would have just been sitting on. Oh, okay,
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
I know not to do that again.
Absolutely. So I see you have like this, big like fire inside you, right? Like what inspired you to become like an entrepreneur? Like I know you say you have a 9 to 5, but like usually people that have 9 to 5s, they stick with that, that 9 to 5. They don't want to do more than that. And I'm not knocking that, but I'm just saying, like, what inspired you to become an entrepreneur?
My daughter, she's my actually pusher. Like I'm a single parent, and I'm doing all this work. I don't want her to go through what I'm going through, as in working so hard. I want her to have no worries of her. I don't want her to see that her mom is struggling, and I don't want her to struggle. So I'm doing it. It's my inspiration is my daughter. Being a parent and an ongoing parent, and my daughter sees like, listen, I can do what my mother came with this idea yesterday, and she's she's starting to make moves on it now. So she sees the drive. So if she want to become an entrepreneur, she knows, oh, this is the steps I want to do. I know how my mother did it, and she could probably do it way better than me. So my daughter is actually what inspired me to keep it going, to keep pushing, and don't give up, because I don't want her to do that.
Well, that's amazing. I'm basically, that's why I started this podcast, to talk to entrepreneurs, on a real level. Like, a lot of shows have like these, famous celebrities and whatever. Like, that's all good and great, but I'd rather talk to like the real deal people, inspire young entrepreneurs. Like I have quite a few of them that I mentor. They're actually going to be coming on the podcast soon. Like some of them are in the sneaker game. Some of them are in, tech, etc. So, That's why I did this show, to inspire that, rather than have like, celebrities that already made it and they're just, saturating a platform that should be more for people like on an everyday level.
Right, right, right. Yeah, they got sometimes it's like they be so booked and busy it's hard to even get them to even talk, But they do have some like, being up there. I don't consider me up there. A lot of people are like, "Oh, you got 1 million views," and they're like, "How you feel?" I'm like, "I feel regular." Like, I guess I'm humble about it, and it's like I just feel regular. I don't. You got 1 million views. You got 1 million followers. Like, how do you feel? Like people are noticing you in the street. I'm like humble. Like I tell people, hey, don't be scared to say hi to me. I'm human, just like everybody else.
Yep.
I'm still me. Nothing's not going to change me. If I'm too busy, I will let people know. Like I'm not going to be on some cold. Oh, get out of here. I'm a diva now. No, I am still gonna and forever be the humble me when it comes to if I was when I blow up, and I'm gonna still help out because I know the struggle from coming from below and going up. I know the struggle, and I still feel like I'm in a struggle, but a lot of people don't. A lot of people that lower, like with popularity, lower with, business wise, they look at me like, oh, how it feels. I'm like, it feels like I'm you. I don't feel no different, because I always will remember what my roots is, and I will always make sure I water other people's roots because I know what it is to be from below and coming up.
Those are facts right there. I totally agree. Congratulations on the 1 million views. I come from immigrants, and basically what I was taught, and I'll never forget the lesson, is the same people you meet going up the ladder, you're going to meet coming down. So I treat everyone the same. I don't care what you do, where you're from, what color you are. Like I don't get involved in all of that.
So a lot of people do forget that. They forget their roots, and sometimes they do it. But I see a lot of artists, like, they go back to where they from and help the community. But, they have a busy schedule. But never, ever forget the roots. That's one thing I would tell everybody. Don't forget where you came from.
Yeah. Cheap is expensive, like they don't want to invest in their business, but they want to be successful. It's not going to happen.
Right. You have to, yeah. It's that you have to catch up because time is moving extremely fast. And if you're not catching up to time, especially when it comes to being on social media, a lot of people understand, like, look how they're starting to make, what's it called? AI.
Yes.
That's starting to come up and stuff like that. And you have to learn. You have to try to travel with the flow of everything that's happening with time and technology. Technology is a big thing.
Yeah, I'm currently involved in a CRM software venture where we're going to bring it out possibly in a year or so. We're taking our time because we want to really fine tune it, for service industries as far as, pest control, lawn control, electricians, plumbers, etc. You got to get with the times and you got to learn how to make your money work for you rather than you work for your money.
Exactly. Yes, yes. The day I make money in my sleep is the day I think I would like, okay, I'm good.
Yeah. Well, that's when you're truly successful. When you see people think they're successful when they're making money, but you're actually successful when your money's making money for you. When you're not working is when you get successful, but people don't see it that way.
They don't look at it that way at all.
No, they don't, like people just don't, everyone is with the, I said this in the last episode, like they're on this MTV reality lifestyle, but that, that shit's all fake, it doesn't exist. That's made for TV. That's why, it's called reality TV. Like 99.9%, I could say this because I have friends that are in, the television industry, etc. It's all staged.
Definitely.
So if you want to be successful, you got to work. You got to be smart. That's the key thing. You got to know how to move
and be consistent.
Yes. Yeah. I mean, the key to success to me is process and preparation. If you have those two things in order, it's going to be like a well-oiled machine.
Right. Yes, definitely. That is definitely. And that's why I tell people now, like, they ask me, I tell them like, hey, they're like, how did you get your following? I told them like, it's consistency. Like if you look at my platform, I am underscore Xtacy Instagram. You see that I was doing it for a year, and it went from having barely 50 likes to where and 50 views to where I got 1 million views. It went from, and it's like I just kept doing it. I didn't let nothing discourage me. And I'm like, listen, this is the place to go. I need to keep doing it. It's times I look at things, I'm like, it's tiring, it's draining, but I still kept pushing myself. You have to be your own pusher. Don't depend on people to push you.
Absolutely. And it's like I explained to a female exterminator in California. She just started her company. You got to, like I said also earlier, you got to be ahead of the game. See, a lot of reason why people are blowing up also on social media is I'm going to explain it to everyone, right? All these platforms right now, TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, Twitter, whoever else, right? They're all battling each other over these shorts. You know what I mean? So,
right.
So basically, all these platforms are rewarding people right now that are being consistent and putting up content, because when you put up content, what happens, right? Actually, excuse me, when you put up good content, you keep people on their app. When you keep people on the app, they get more money from ads, right?
Yep.
So that's the whole game right there. People tell me like, nah, I don't want to, I don't want to do that. I don't want to go on. You got, even if you, whatever it is you put up, just put it up. Like you're creating more, what's the word? Channels back to your brand. Like social media is people use it as a sales engine when they should be using it as a brand engine. Because when you build your brand, the sales are just going to come to you because people already know you. Rather than every day putting up the same post, like, buy my stuff, like you're gonna push people away. Like I see people that got into this automation thing, right? With the emails. That's how that's how you lose customers, getting 50 emails in an hour. Like it's not, like
it's frustrating. I that's when I'm like, all right, I don't want to be bothered with this.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
Like, it's like, okay. And then like, right now, I see what the new deal is. What they're doing now, they go, oh, if you do this, right? They go, if you sign up for our email, you get 10% off, right?
Yeah.
So then they like also, and then the next soon as you sign up for all right, let me give them my email. Next thing comes up, if you sign up for us to text you, you get this, right?
Yeah.
And it's like get more percentage off, and it's like, all right, let me join that. But then it's like, okay, y'all texted me like 5 times today. Dang, like leave me alone.
Yeah.
Like I got me. I'm over here, busting my behind to get to my phone, and it was the same text you sent me a couple hours ago. Like, I don't like that. So I stopped giving my text as a text number for them to text me, even though it's a bigger discount. It's like I'm not ready to buy it. I'm just interested in it, but I'm not ready to buy it. So it ended up becoming a harassment because now I'm getting notifications from both.
Yeah.
Cell phone, both emails and both text messages. So I see that they're starting to do that with us, with their cells. And it's like, okay, they're doing too much now. I'm getting overwhelmed with the email. So I end up putting them in, I put them in spam. I literally put them in spam. And when I'm ready, I just go through my spam. As much times I know they text and email, I'm going to find one up-to-date sale. When I'm ready to purchase, I know I'm going to find an up-to-date sale because I send so much that I'm going to find a sale. Don't matter what, because I send 5 already for the day,
I got it. Yeah. Well, what's going on now is the government is going to be requiring businesses to register their phone number with all this texting and email stuff that's going on, because a lot of scams, they'll say like, hey, click this link. And then, they steal all your information. So that's coming down the pipe. That's coming down the pipe. And also, to me personally, I think it's a fad, because people are you're going to be turning people off sending 50 emails a day. Market research shows that one email every quarter, every 45 days or so is efficient to pretty much like making you money, rather than like every half an hour I'm hitting you up like, hey, buy this. Hey, It's crazy.
Yeah, that right there is annoying. Beyond annoying. I don't like it.
Where can we find you online? Share your contact information if somebody wants to do business with you or follow you on the internet, etc.
Well, I can be found on Instagram, which is I am Xtacy. So IAM_XTACY. And also, that's where my email contact is. And then you also see my other businesses on there. I can get, once I get the email, that's when I send because I get a lot of emails stating a lot of other things and, weirdos and stuff like that. So once I do check my email time for time during the week. And that's the best way to contact me so I can release my number to the person that's really interested in business.
Okay, well, I want to thank you for coming on to the show. I appreciate your conversation. It was insightful.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
I want to thank everyone for tuning into another great episode of Pest Equity Business Podcast. If you want to stay up to date on how to structure and build your business, please consider subscribing to our YouTube channel, share this podcast, go over and follow us on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and we'll see you all on the next episode. God bless.
Thank you for tuning in to another great episode of Pest Equity Business Podcast. Be sure to share, like, and subscribe. Follow us on Instagram at Pest Equity Podcast. Join the Facebook group and go subscribe to our growing YouTube community. Have a question or topic for the show? Want to be a guest on the show? Shoot us an email at pestequitypodcast@gmail.com.